everyone, how are you? So in this video, I wanted to look at the antics again of Harry and Meghan and their Sussex Squad. And of course, we know that Harry and Meghan have been using their worldwide platform to push anti-white racism under the guise of unconscious bias and, using the BLM, and their Sussex Squad do the same things. And of course, this has led now, ironically, to a white young man being stabbed to death and being treated harshly by the police because the police were afraid of being called racist if they were to arrest the man with the knife instead of the boy who was bleeding to death on the ground. And you see how silent Harry and Meghan and their Sussex Squad are on this topic. They're not taking the knee like they did before. And that's another one. Yeah, like over here with Stammer and everybody else in the U.S. as well. The U.S. politicians all took the knee. And the young man said he couldn't breathe, and they just handcuffed him and let him die. Now, there are protests in the U.K. That were attempted to be live streamed, and those live streams were cut off. They were censored. So the censorship is still strong. And of course, so if you think about it, Harry and Meghan with their Sussex Squad trying to incite the hatred online and the vitriol and censoring people under the guise of racism or hate speech and all this nonsense. And of course, the CCDH all integral with all this. But of course, at the end of the day, it all boils down to just causing chaos and death. And if this were a black man, Harry and Meghan would be out there on their platforms doing a Zoom call, right? But Meghan has nothing to say about this. Harry has nothing to say about this, right? Never mind that they have white children. They don't care, apparently. Well, they're wealthy, so that they're figuring they never have to deal with this. So, and their Sussex Squad, this is you've heard the notorious JTB. I've never heard of him before, but he's apparently received a box of as ever products from Meghan, and this is one of his tweets. They're still, this is just came out May 31st. They're still trying to rev up a back and forth between the Megxit side or whatever, the critics of Harry and Meghan versus them. And they're really trying hard to position people who criticize Meghan as simply being Kate Middleton fans, So, and I even saw a tweet once, I couldn't find it now, but there is a tweet where one of the Sussex squatters said, why doesn't the other side just be more open about how they worship Catherine, So they're trying to position it as a Catherine versus Megalodon battle. That's what they want to position it as, not that, which is not true at all. People who criticize Megalodon simply don't like Megalodon because she's a liar and a race baiter and an instigator and ugly and stupid and talentless and obnoxious and constantly in the media in our faces. There's lots of reason to dislike her, and sells crap, overpriced crap. This is the stuff he sent this man here. So what's my point? Oh, but they want to position it as, oh no, if you're criticizing Meghan, you just must be working for the palace and are part of Team Kate and whatever. So, and of course, they're pushing the racism continually, and people are dying, and they are pushing. They also push Obama. I've noticed Sussex squatters are they love Obama, who's destroying this country. There's no question. The United States, he's been trying to destroy it for years, still working on it, still very involved in the censorship of Hillary Clinton, as TRG in her latest videos, a must watch, showing the connections of Obama and Clinton with the death of Joe, what's her last name? I didn't really pay attention to that because, I don't pay attention to the UK news. Joe Cox. and who may not even be dead. We don't even know. All of these, situations, there's so much being manufactured and blown and added and lies being spewed about and being used. But the Sussex squatters, they apparently have nothing to say about Henry Nowak. They've been very, very silent on him. But we know that the Sussex Squad have been pushing the hatred, and of course this would lead to, the globalists would want, they want people in the street getting enraged and protesting, because then they can bring in martial law and bring out the dogs, right? This is what the globalists want to do. They got tons of dogs and they've been using them all over China for a long time now. These are face reading dogs. They're going to be at the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup in Dallas. These dogs read your face. And they can put guns on these dogs. They can put anything on these dogs. And people think they're cute when they see them for the first time. But they're making your tyranny look cute right here with the dog situating these robots as dogs, man's best friend. Because, of course, if these were humanoid-looking things, you wouldn't find them so cute. So this is what you're dealing with. And this is what they want to bring in. And so they want to bring in the race baiting, and the Sussex Squad are obviously helping with that. Fanning the flames here, trying to claim it's all about racism and etc. Trying to say, well, it's all these people that criticize their story is everything that criticizes Meghan is just working for the palace. It's Meghan and Harry versus the royal family, which we all know is so untrue. That Harry and Meghan are working with the royal family. So this is an example. This JTB just reposted this about Obama. See, they love Obama. So, and I don't even believe they are who they, none of them are who they say they are. They all seem to be part of intelligence, in my opinion. CIA, corrupted CIA, whoever, British intelligence, whatever. These people are actors, and they are the deep state. They are part of the deep state with Boozy and all the rest. And so they are. I want to look at, because they do push the racism. They still continue to push the racism and the lies, and they're still trying to bully and harass people. And Meghan has now, once again, this is not the first time, she has acknowledged that she works with these people who push this hatred, this vile hatred and nastiness all day, every day, in between memes of Harry and Meghan to make it look like they're just a fan, right? So Meghan has once again acknowledged, here it is, the box opening he has of stuff. How did Meghan get this guy's address? Question number one, how does she find his address? I mean, he didn't put his address in the description. So how did he know where to find him to send him a big box of hundreds of dollars worth of stuff here? He doesn't have anything here that indicates his name or address. So how did Meghan get that? It's question number one. I ask, what's the connection here? Or she already had it because he works for her and she pays him, so she knows his address already. Oh, okay, I get it now. I mean, that's the only explanation. You don't just get his address. Let me see. I'll unblock him so I can see the full thing there. Yeah, he just has notoriously opinionated Gemini in New York City. He's got a link tree here. Sussex Squad event. He does something with Sasha Barnes. I don't know who that is. There's got a lot of, but no address here. There's no way someone who doesn't know this person would know it. So obviously, all a part of the black ops of Harry and Meghan. And I'm just curious as to this recent death of a white man that they're not even acknowledging, like it didn't happen. I mean, how can you? I really don't understand how people can be this way, be so racist. Seriously, in this day and age, for them to allow some propaganda to make them this way. So I want to look at, regarding Henry Nowak's death, how Harry and Meghan and their Sussex Squad have contributed to this, because they have been pushing the racism with Meghan Harriman. Meghan Harriman is continually pushing the anti-white racism. Harry and Meghan continue to push it. And all their group, the CCDH and all the rest of them. So how much did Harry and Meghan and their Sussex Squad contribute to Henry Nowak's death? Let's take a look at this. Well, let's just look at this and find out. Harry and Meghan, Sussex Squad, with Henry Nowak's death, and with the messaging that they put out and the hatred and vitriol. Let's see. In general, was there influence on this death of this poor young man? Okay, 7 of Cups. Being forced to make a choice, making a distorted choice, which is what the police officers did under the influence of anti-racism and DEI. They said, oh no, the black person can't be wrong. It must be the white person. So again, this distorted way of thinking, the brainwashing of the DEI, BLM, 1619 Project, and all the other anti-white racism going on, and it's all causing very poor decisions. And this is not the first catastrophe as a result of this type of thing. And that's that poor decisioning in people of power, people who make these life death decisions, people who have the power in government and the police, and in owning platforms, in charge of platforms, etc. They are using this distorted way of thinking to make these abusive, wrong, racist, anti-white racist actions and decisions and thinking. And King of Pentacles reversed. So you've got the corrupt politicians here, the globalists, and of course you can look at this as Prince Harry's influence on this as well, because he's the one that came over here with the CCDH, working closely together with all the censorship complex of Obama and Hillary Clinton. So Harry's really, Prince Harry and his group, I mean, Meghan, of course, is a part of it, but the power of this destruction to society and the political, I mean, Harry was connected with Obama and Clinton before he married Meghan. It's been going on a long time, this plan and this destruction of society and warping everybody's minds and bringing in this racism. And trying to push this to kill. And then when someone is killed because of their anti-white racism, they all go silent. They have nothing to say. Nothing to see here, right? But if it were the other way around, you wouldn't be hearing the end of it, right? There'd be riots and buildings burning down as we speak, and the Sussex Squad would be jumping all over it and saying, see, and Meghan and Harry would be coming out on their Zoom calls. I mean, wow. But you see the silence here, of Harry and Meghan and Sussex Squad on this young white man's death, who was treated horrifically, inhumanely, and yet they pretend like they have nothing to do with it, right? But it definitely looks like with the Strength card and Major Arcana and Prince Harry's power behind them, they definitely do have made a major impact and on this situation, on society, on online discourse. Yeah, 10 of Cups in the community, on young children as well, but in the community in general, the online community. So the group surrounding Harry here are very much affecting the powers and influencing the decision making that's leading to these poor choices that are leading to deaths and destruction and causing more harm to society and divisiveness. It's always about the dividing between black and white. I mean, this has been played on since the beginning with them, but also now they try to extrapolate it of Kate versus Meghan. They're trying to drum that divisiveness up. They're really trying. They want that to be the huge battle, you know. They want that to be. That's what they're trying to shift it to after it, when they were mostly about saying it was racist. It's a racism, but now they're moving on and trying to say, oh no, it's Kate versus, you know, Meghan. That's all it's about. You know, they're trying to make it look like, but it's not the way it is. It's, you know, Meghan and Harry being the most unpopular people on the planet. What it's about. No amount of Sussex Squad is going to fix that. So, I say they were a major influence, particularly Prince Harry and his work with CCDH and Aspen Institute. And of course, you're seeing the censorship now as a result of it. So they drum this up to bring the censorship, right? They drum up the hate and the divisiveness. So then they say, oh, look, we got to censor all this. You know, look at all this hate out here. We got to do something about it. And again, Harry and Meghan and the Sussex Squad are very quiet about this. They have nothing to say, nothing at all. They don't care that a person died, a young man died, if he's not the color they like. Right? They're so racist. How are Harry and Meghan feeling now about this? You know, Harry and Meghan, they love jumping on a death of a young person. So how are they feeling about this now? Six of Pentacles reversed. Well, they can't use this to push Meghan's merch, that's for sure. So they're looking at it and saying, well, we can't make any money off of this one. There's like nothing that they can use to promote themselves. Nine of Swords. So it's very disturbing to them that that this goes against their narrative. You know, they can't use this to push their political propaganda and their race baiting agenda. So they're upset that, you know, of course, this exposes how their racism has led to a tragic death of a young man. And they, of course, because they don't promote peace, they don't promote, like Martin Luther King, you know, ignoring skin color and treating and judging people by their character and not their skin color. They don't want that. Harry and Meghan and CCDH and Hillary Clinton and Bill Obama and all those people around them that's pushing this anti-white racism. They want anti-white racism. They don't want you to not look at skin color. They don't want to promote peace, and they don't want to promote everybody getting along, you know. So that's why they're silent, because they can't. It goes against their narrative, and there's no way they can spin it. They don't want to say, oh, let's just get along and let's just stop all this. No, they want to keep it going, right? Harry, Meghan, and Sussex Squad, they want to keep the hate going. They want more white deaths, right? Yeah, justice reverse, because they're a criminal deep state organization, and they want the deaths. They want everybody to get riled up and to go out in the streets and to attack the police, because then they can bring in, that's the secret, that's the hidden agenda here. They want to affect everybody emotionally, psychologically, unconsciously, nudging them, right, with their ephemeral influences, and with this kind of divisiveness everywhere that Harry and Meghan promote. They want to push people to criminal actions, to fight, to go out on the street and fight and rev them up so they can turn around and bring out their robot dogs, right? They want that. They want that. They don't want people working together. Three of Coins reversed. They don't want people getting together and saying, oh, let's work together, black and white. It's like, let's stop this nonsense. They don't want that. They don't want people ignoring Harry and Meghan and the globalist, racist, anti-white racist agenda. They want you to fall for it and continue it, and to continue the hatred and continue the abuse, to get people more and more angry and push people more and more against the police and against the governments. So they can bring in the robot dogs. Yeah. I mean, that's the agenda, the ultimate agenda. They want to bring in the martial law. This is all leading to that. So they don't want peace and happiness. They don't want people living together in harmony. They want to, like the Sussex Squad and Harry and Meghan want to, and Misan Harryman, they want to all just keep the race going, keep the hatred going, and keeping that revved up and continuous and nonstop attacking and So in the end, Henry Nowak's death, how responsible are the Sussex Squad and Harry and Meghan? Oh, look at that. Oh, big time. This just fold out tower. Oh yeah, major arcana. They're responsible. They are very responsible because they are they're pushing this. Harry and Meghan have been very prominent in pushing this racist agenda. I guess the royal family, the racist royal family, and the Sussex Squad keep repeating it and promoting it on behalf of Harry and Meghan, paid off. So yeah, absolutely, 100%. Then doing it, conspiring, and acting all cheerful about it. We're just cheerleaders. We just love Harry and Meghan, and we think you're a racist. So working very closely together with Harry and Meghan, and the two fake children agenda there to rile people up. And they've put a lot of effort into this. The beehive in the background, the royal symbol there. And they call themselves the beehive. And they've been working very diligently for Harry and Meghan to push this agenda to make everybody as crazy and fearful as possible, and to bring out the divisiveness of the black versus white, and to keep things crazy and people in the dark as to really why they're doing this, and to muddy the waters, to upset people, to make things major arcana, to make people as crazy as possible, and push people into this anti-white racism with their propaganda, with their tools, their nudging, and their other techniques that they're using. With the magician here, they've been exerting their power with the deep state connections they're using, the psychological manipulation, and pushing their Harry and Meghan's agenda, pushing this divisiveness and craziness to bring out this destruction. I got King of Wands reversed, using these leaders behind them, like Harry, like Obama, like the rest of them, and Two of Cups to bring out the divisiveness. They are going to continue. They are they continue with this, and they are, as far as how responsible they are, 100%. They are a huge factor in this. Harry and Meghan on the UK and the US, with their causing this end of life, this disruptive event, leading to protests and making everybody so upset and crazy, and being more as divisive as possible. Two of Cups reversed, with Harry behind them, pushing the Obama-Clinton agenda to lead to martial law and new world orders, and censorship. Of course, censorship is they need that. That's, besides that and digital ID, those are the big things that they're need set in place, and they're successfully pushing the child safety now. They've moved from mis and disinformation to child safety, as TRG talks about as well in her videos, and they've had some successes so far. So unfortunately, unless people stop, wake up to the agenda and stop listening to them and CCDH and the others, their agendas are going forward as planned. So yeah, they are. Harry and Meghan and the Sussex Squad, are very responsible for the death of Henry Nowak and the anti-white racism going on, leading to other violence and death. And and I'm sure they're proud of it. So there you have it. So I hope you found this interesting. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.